Picture this scenario. You're carving through traffic, absolutely dialed in. Machine and rider moving as one perfect unit. Every sense is heightened. Every decision is calculated. Every movement is precise. Then suddenly, those brake lights flash ahead like a warning beacon. Red light approaching. As you roll toward that intersection, something terrifying happens. That razor-sharp focus you've maintained for miles just evaporates. Your mind shifts into neutral along with your transmission. If this mental fog creeping in at traffic stops sounds even remotely familiar, then what I'm about to share isn't just helpful advice. It's literally a survival manual that could save your life. Before we dive deep into these potentially fatal mistakes that even experienced riders make every single day, do yourself a favor and smash that subscribe button right now. Hit that notification bell too, because the strategies I'm breaking down today are the unwritten rules of survival. The kind of life-saving intelligence that separates riders who make it home from those who become statistics. You absolutely cannot afford to miss a single one of these techniques. Let's start with a brutal reality check. For motorcyclists, red lights aren't peaceful interludes or moments to catch your breath. They're kill zones. Intersections account for the overwhelming majority of motorcycle fatalities. And here's the shocking truth that most riders refuse to acknowledge. You're making potentially deadly errors every single time you stop, and you don't even realize it. We're not talking about minor oversights or harmless bad habits. These are life-threatening mistakes that transform routine traffic stops into disaster scenarios waiting to unfold. The most terrifying part of this whole equation? Even riders with decades of experience and hundreds of thousands of miles under their belt are guilty of at least half of these critical errors. They've become so comfortable, so overconfident in their abilities, that they've convinced themselves experience alone makes them bulletproof. It absolutely doesn't. Complacency kills more experienced riders than inexperience kills beginners. Let me paint you a picture of the first and most catastrophic mistake that's so universal, it's almost genetic among motorcyclists. You see that car stopped ahead of you at the intersection. If you're pulling up directly behind its rear bumper like you're driving a sedan, you've just painted a massive target on your back. You've transformed yourself into the soft, vulnerable filling in a hard metal sandwich, just sitting there waiting for that one distracted driver who's more interested in their smartphone than the stopped traffic ahead of them. The professional, tactical approach is completely different. It's called stopping offset, and it's the difference between having options and being trapped. Position your motorcycle in the left or right third of your lane, lining up with the car's taillights rather than centering behind them. This single adjustment accomplishes two critical survival objectives simultaneously. First, it makes you dramatically more visible to traffic approaching from behind. When you're tucked directly behind a large SUV or pickup truck, you essentially vanish from the perspective of following drivers. But when you're offset, your headlight and profile become clearly visible in their line of sight. Second, and arguably more important, this positioning creates an immediate escape route. If you spot danger developing in your mirrors, you have a clear path to dart between lanes or onto the shoulder. This isn't paranoid behavior, it's proactive survival strategy. That escape route could be the difference between a close call and a catastrophic collision. Now, let's address one of the most seductive and dangerous habits that riders fall into during long traffic light cycles. That temptation to click into neutral gear and give your clutch hand a break feels so natural, so logical. After all, why strain your hand holding that clutch lever when you could just relax in neutral? Here's why that comfort is the enemy of readiness and could literally cost you your life. Intersections are chaos incarnate. When things go wrong, and they will go wrong eventually, they explode into crisis mode in milliseconds. You need to be able to move instantly, not fumble around trying to find first gear while a 2-ton missile barrels toward you at highway speed. That half-second delay while you're scrambling to get back into gear is a luxury you simply don't have when survival is on the line. Keep your bike in first gear with the clutch pulled in. Modern motorcycles are engineered to handle extended clutch engagement without any mechanical issues whatsoever. Stop babying your machine when you should be prioritizing the preservation of your own life. The minor clutch wear you might be worried about is absolutely insignificant compared to the major bodily harm you'll suffer if you can't escape quickly enough. Your mirrors aren't decorative accessories bolted to your handlebars for aesthetic purposes. They're sophisticated rear-facing radar systems that provide critical intelligence about threats approaching from behind. Yet an astounding number of riders treat them like they're completely optional. They'll stop at a red light, give their mirrors one cursory glance, then proceed to stare blankly at the traffic signal like they're trying to hypnotize it into changing colors faster. Meanwhile, death is approaching from behind at dangerous speeds. That distracted driver who's been texting for the last 3 miles is still looking down at their phone, completely oblivious to your existence or the fact that traffic has come to a complete stop ahead of them. You must develop the discipline of constant, systematic scanning, especially during those first critical 10 seconds after coming to a stop. That initial window represents your highest risk period when following drivers might not even realize the traffic situation has changed. If your stock mirrors provide nothing but a view of your own elbows and shoulders, upgrade them immediately. Install bar-end mirrors, convex blind spot extensions, whatever technology it takes to eliminate surprise from your riding equation. Being caught off guard by what's happening behind you isn't just embarrassing, it's often fatal. You should never, under any circumstances, be surprised by approaching traffic. Here's a tactical detail that separates amateur weekend warriors from serious professional-level riders. And most basic riding instructors barely touch on this concept. When you come to a stop, resist the natural urge to automatically drop both feet to the ground for maximum stability. That instinctive response feels completely natural, but it's strategically flawed and potentially dangerous. The correct technique is to keep your right foot firmly planted on the rear brake pedal while placing only your left foot down for balance. This seemingly minor adjustment achieves multiple critical objectives simultaneously. It keeps your brake light illuminated and glowing, ensuring maximum visibility to following traffic. It provides superior control on inclines or declines, preventing any dangerous rollback that could put you into the vehicle behind you. And it keeps you perfectly positioned and ready for a smooth, controlled launch the moment the traffic light changes to green. This foot positioning technique also builds the kind of precise muscle memory that makes complex, low-speed maneuvering feel like second nature. When you develop this habit, tight parking lot navigation, slow speed turns, and hill starts become effortless rather than anxiety-inducing challenges. The asphalt surface at intersections represents a contaminated battlefield that most riders completely ignore. Think about what happens at these locations every single day. Cars sit there idling for hours, methodically leaking a toxic cocktail of engine oil, transmission fluid, coolant, and brake fluid. Add even a light mist of rain to this chemical soup, and those painted lane markers and metal utility covers transform into treacherous ice rinks specifically designed to dump unsuspecting motorcyclists. As you approach any stopping point, you must scan the pavement with the same intensity and focus that a commercial airline pilot uses during a landing approach. Your life literally depends on this level of attention to surface conditions. Look for those telltale rainbow oil sheens that indicate slippery patches. Avoid painted surfaces entirely, as they become incredibly slick when wet. Steer clear of metal manhole covers, utility plates, and drainage grates that provide zero traction for motorcycle tires. Your mission is to identify and secure a patch of clean, dry asphalt where both your tires and your boots can establish secure grip. Don't just casually drop your foot down anywhere it happens to land. Place it deliberately and consciously on stable ground. This small but crucial attention to detail separates experienced riders who stay upright from those who find themselves picking their motorcycles up off the pavement in front of laughing motorists. Hills and steep inclines introduce a uniquely terrifying challenge that strikes fear into the hearts of many motorcyclists. There's nothing quite like being trapped on a steep uphill grade with an impatient car practically kissing your rear tire, knowing that any mistake could send you rolling backward into their bumper or lurching forward into cross traffic. Most inexperienced riders attempt to hold their position by frantically feathering the clutch and throttle simultaneously, which almost invariably results in embarrassing stalls, dangerous over-revving, or kangaroo-hopping launches directly into oncoming traffic. The professional solution is both elegant and simple in its execution. Plant your right foot firmly on the rear brake pedal while keeping your left foot down for stability. This technique anchors your motorcycle securely in position while allowing you to calmly and methodically find the clutch friction zone without any time pressure or panic. Once you feel the clutch begin to engage and pull against the rear brake, smoothly roll on the throttle while gradually releasing brake pressure. The result is a clean, drama-free launch with zero backward roll and complete control throughout the entire process. While we're discussing focus and attention management, let's completely demolish another dangerous habit that plagues countless riders. Stop fixating on that red traffic light like your intense stare is somehow going to compel it to change colors faster. This tunnel vision effect makes you completely blind to real, developing threats unfolding all around you in every direction. While you're hypnotically focused on that glowing red circle, genuine danger is materializing everywhere else. The aggressive driver inching into the intersection from your left, obviously planning to run their red light. The distracted pedestrian about to step off the curb directly into traffic, completely ignoring the don't walk signal. The texting driver approaching from behind, who hasn't even noticed that traffic has stopped ahead. Treat every red light as a tactical situational awareness checkpoint rather than a mindless waiting period. Your head should be constantly moving on a systematic swivel pattern. Scan left for cross-traffic threats. Scan right for pedestrians and cyclists. Check your mirrors for approaching vehicles. Then repeat the entire sequence. Pay attention to the wheels and tires of vehicles beside you. Are they creeping forward when they should be stationary? These subtle movement cues often provide advance warning of dangerous driver behavior. When that traffic light finally changes to green, you must resist every primitive instinct screaming at you to immediately launch off the starting line. This moment represents the ultimate test of riding discipline and maturity. Force yourself to pause for one complete second. Use that time to perform one final comprehensive safety check. Look left, then right, then left again. Only after confirming that the intersection is truly clear should you proceed forward. That deliberate 1-second delay has saved more motorcyclists' lives than any piece of high-technology safety gear ever manufactured. Understanding this critical distinction could save your life. Green doesn't mean go immediately. Green means it's now legal to proceed, but only after personally confirming that it's actually safe to do so. When your only protection consists of your riding gear and your situational awareness, that distinction means absolutely everything. You must accept complete responsibility for your own visibility rather than assuming it's something other drivers will automatically grant you. When you stop next to a large delivery truck, commercial van, or lifted SUV, you become functionally invisible for all practical purposes. Their blind spots are absolutely enormous. And if you position yourself beside their passenger door, you literally don't exist in their world from their perspective. At busy, chaotic intersections, even a simple distracted lane change on their part can instantly put you on the ground before you even realize what's happening. Always position yourself for maximum visibility in one of two strategic locations, either far enough behind them to be clearly visible in their side mirror, or slightly ahead, where you appear in their direct line of sight through the windshield. Here's a reliable rule of thumb for visibility confirmation. If you can clearly see the driver's face reflected in their mirror, there's a reasonable chance they can see you as well. Here's a point that might bruise some egos, but it needs to be addressed directly. Stop revving your engine at red lights like some attention-seeking teenager. It doesn't project coolness, power, or command respect from other road users. More often than not, it signals insecurity and immaturity, and can needlessly escalate completely benign traffic situations into dangerous confrontations. You have absolutely no idea what kind of mental state the people around you are experiencing. That sports car driver might interpret your revving as a direct challenge to an illegal street race. The nervous elderly driver beside you might perceive it as aggressive intimidation. The police officer positioned 3 cars behind you might decide you're clearly begging for a noise violation citation and the accompanying fine. If you want your motorcycle to be genuinely respected on the road, let its performance and your riding skills speak for themselves when you're actually moving with purpose and skill. Not when you're sitting stationary and desperately begging for attention like an insecure child. The danger doesn't magically disappear the moment your traffic light turns green. Urban intersections teem with chaotic activity from lane-splitting motorcycles, electric delivery vehicles, food couriers on scooters, and cyclists who often operate according to their own unique interpretation of traffic laws. Before making any movement whatsoever, whether launching from the light or simply adjusting your lane position, you must perform a comprehensive 360-degree situational assessment. Check both mirrors thoroughly. Then, crucially, physically turn your head to visually scan your blind spots. You would be absolutely amazed at how many vehicles can silently materialize beside you without appearing in your peripheral vision. Some are operating legally within traffic laws, others are bending or breaking rules, but all of them represent potential threats if you remain unaware of their presence. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, you must actively fight against the natural human urge to mentally check out during red light stops. Traffic lights feel like intermissions in the riding experience, brief moments to relax and decompress after navigating stressful traffic situations. Your brain naturally craves these mental shutdowns, but complacency kills motorcyclists with ruthless efficiency. This is precisely when unexpected disasters occur. The driver behind you might still be absorbed in text messaging. The oncoming vehicle might decide red lights are merely suggestions. Your own wandering mind might cause you to stall your motorcycle when the light changes, leaving you stranded and vulnerable in the middle of an active intersection. You must remain mentally engaged and tactically ready at all times. This doesn't mean being tense or anxious, but rather maintaining active awareness. Continuously scan your environment, process developing situations, and anticipate the poor decisions that other road users are likely to make. Trust is a luxury that motorcyclists simply cannot afford. Remember that your high-visibility riding gear is a helpful aid, not magical protective armor. To distracted drivers, a stationary motorcycle easily blends into the visual chaos and clutter of busy intersections. They're subconsciously scanning for car-sized threats, not the relatively narrow profile of a motorcycle and rider. Instead of blindly trusting that you've been seen and recognized, you must actively work to confirm your visibility. Periodically flash your brake light as vehicles approach from behind. Maintain a lane position that simultaneously maximizes your visibility while providing clear escape routes. Above all else, ride with the assumption that you're completely invisible to everyone around you, because to roughly half the drivers sharing that intersection with you, you genuinely are invisible. True masters of motorcycle craft understand that every single red light presents a complex tactical problem requiring active management. Where you choose to stop, how you position yourself within the lane, what threats you monitor, and how you plan potential escape routes are all conscious, deliberate decisions based on years of experience and training. They're not passively waiting for permission to proceed. They're actively managing a high-risk environment with professional-level skills and awareness. Master these fundamental techniques, and you won't merely survive your daily rides, you'll command them with confidence and skill, transforming every intersection stop into a demonstration of superior riding ability and tactical awareness that other motorcyclists will notice and respect.